Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have an album review for ENMITY with Illuminations of Vile Engorgement. So if you don't know who ENMITY are, they're a brutal death metal band from, I believe, Arizona. And the thing with ENMITY is they're a very love it or hate it kind of band because this album really pushes the boundaries of brutal death metal and extreme music in general. This is just about as extreme as death metal can get in terms of like brutality. If you're one of those like I don't know, fucking boring people who like don't like metal that's like brutal for the sake of being brutal, then stay far away from this album because you will not like this at all. Even if you're a pretty seasoned brutal death metal listener, this might leave a bad taste in your mouth. This album was a grower for me for sure, and I imagine for most people. I don't know, I can't imagine anybody liking this album on first listen. But the thing with ENMITY is you could call them avant-garde if you wanted to, I suppose, although that's a bit pretentious of a term for music this brain dead. But basically this band, their sound is just a wall of sound of almost endless fucking blast beats and very weird, noisy guitar riffs. You can't make out the notes. And I don't just mean this in the way, I mean, you could say that to describe bands like Disgorge or Defeated Sanity or Brodekin, but this band takes that much further. The guitars are ridiculously down-tuned to like, I want to say like F or F sharp. I know this band was really influential with Putridity, although even Putridity isn't as extreme as this, because this is a lot more raw, and I guess you could say sloppy, honestly. There's a lot of really, really loose moments on this album where the guitars are very out of sync with the drums, but for this style, I guess it kind of works in a way. This album is just so extreme that it's so head over heels, and its aggression and how violent it sounds that it kind of slips out of lock. Like the instruments kind of just don't get super tight with each other a lot on this album. But I don't know, it kind of adds to the feel of it in a really weird way. I know that sounds stupid, but once you get into this album, you'll know what I mean. But anyways, here's the album cover. This came out in 2005 through Permeated Records. This is the debut full-length from ENMITY. It's the only full-length they ever put out. There's also a pretty popular compilation that's called, what's it called? Vomit Fourth Intestinal Excrement. Which is the name of one of their demos or an EP or something like that. I forgot what type of release it's called, but it's like 20 minutes long. And then that compilation also has a bunch of demos and EPs and stuff like that, like Disembowel the Meek and all that cool shit. But I like this release the most from them. I think this one has the best production. It's still like super raw, but the CD is much punchier sounding than on YouTube. When you listen to this album on YouTube and then you hear the CD, it's like significantly different. Which is a shame. There's not many good uploads of this on YouTube. All the ones on YouTube are very, like, thin sounding, but the CD is a much beefier sounding. It's got a lot of fucking low end. That's just kind of lost over all the, like, MP3 versions of this album available, which sucks because it's a pretty rare CD, but, like, I always, like, thought it was a cool and, like, unique album, so that's kind of why I bought it, because I saw it for, like, $20 on Discogs, and I know it's kind of rare. And then I heard the CD, and I was like, fuck, this sounds, like, way better on physical. And not just because it's the physical copy, like sound quality wise, there's a pretty big difference. But anyways, yeah, this album is so brain dead that track 5, the song titled Intro is track 5, so that's kind of weird. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. Just the disc. I like the side text of brutal assault and morality. Looking crazy sick. Two-piece band, at least on this release. I know they were like a 4-piece at one point, but the Weber brothers, I assume they're brothers. I mean, they have the same fucking last name, but I could be wrong. But Rob Weber on drums and vocals and Chad Weber on guitar and bass. I wonder if these guys ever performed live. That would have been either crazy to see or like terrible. Which, I mean, this album's kind of a little bit of both of those things, but that's why I like it so much. Yeah, what's this? Track listing again. Some band photos. Something I really like on this CD, I wish more albums or more bands did, is there's like a list of their musical like inspirations, and definitely not influences because almost none of these are death metal. But Rob put a Buddy Rich, fucking jazz drummer, Marvin Smitty Smith, Dave Weckl, Akira Jimbo, and Dennis Chambers. And then Chad put Ronthal of Bumblefoot, Sabikas, if I'm pronouncing that right, Uli Roth, Stanley Jordan, Guar, and Jason Becker, which you hear almost none of those influences on this album. This is just pure fucking like raw, absurdly fucking aggressive brutal death metal. But yeah, ENMITY's sound, it's really just a wall of sound of super, super down-tuned, muddy fucking guitars where you can't tell what's going on. Shit ton of blast beats, pretty much non-stop double bass. And then the vocals on this are really weird, but I really like them. There's not a lot of variation in the vocals, and the vocal patterns are very random and spontaneous. It's kind of hard to tell what, like, I don't even know if there's even like legit time signatures for a lot of these songs. A lot of the blasts aren't like subdivided or played with any sort of accenting. It's just a straight like with like nothing counting in anything else. It's just all, I don't know, it just kind of does its thing. But I love it. It's not a very musical album at all, so if you're that kind of person, you're not gonna like this album. But if you, I don't know, if you have a really, really open mind, then this album is a grower. I remember hearing this for the first time when I was like 16 years old, and it didn't click with me at all on first listen, but I thought it was interesting because of how fucking absurd of a listen is. You don't hear something like this every day. There's another band similar to this, but they're even more sloppy to the point where it's pretty much just noise. They're called like Propagating the Abomination or something like that. I could be wrong. And then there's Incentive Rock, who's like more extreme than this, I'd say, but in a different way. They're just as noisy and raw, but it's more just like crazy layering of instrumentation, and it's kind of, you know, that wall of sound type of shit, but it's much less like sloppy than this is, and it's a lot faster. But anyways, I digress. All the songs on here, they totally like blend together. But the highlight of this whole album for me is actually the first song, Bloated Slabs. Has this one really memorable part where they're playing the slam riff like over and over, which there are quite a few slams on this album that break up all the fasty, like blasty parts, which I think are like one of the main reasons for listening to this album, because it's like the whole sound of this album is mostly just, yeah, like fast blasty parts where you can't tell what's going on, and then some chug riffs where you're like, okay, that's a riff, you know, like you can tell what's going on for a second, kinda. But back to what I was saying, Bloated Slabs has this part where they go from playing the slam riff pretty fast over and over for a while, and then there's a little pause, and then they bring it back but slower, which is a pretty like common thing to do in brutal death metal, but the way it's done there, it just sounds really fucking like alien sounding. I don't really know how to explain it. Yeah, just ridiculous wall of sound. Love the production on this album. Although it takes some getting used to. This album sounds like a fucking rubber band in musical form at first, but once you get used to it, this album just got a really nice punch to it. It's very violent sounding. I mean that in the literal sense of the word. Like, it's so noisy and chaotic that it's a fucking assault on your senses. And I know that's a generic thing to say when reviewing a extreme metal album, but I can't think of an album that saying applies for more than this, honestly. And yeah, I kind of like this album because of the wall of sound that it brings. It's just a lot of crazy fucking guttural sounds, and the vocals are very unique. They might have some effects on them. I can't really tell if they're pitch shifted or not, but I do really like the way the vocals on this sound. They're very unique, and I can't imagine anyone making that sound without effects, but I could be wrong. I mean, there's bands like Workadectomy, who I also just reviewed, who falls into the similar pit as this band of being like one of the most extreme brutal death metal bands, but their vocals, I know there's no effects on, they're just crazy fucking guttural vocals, but this band, it sounds like there might be some sort of effects on the vocals, I don't know. But anyways, at the very end of the song, there's like a clean guitar outro, like a classical guitar sort of thing, and I really enjoy that quite a bit. It does sound kind of out of place because there's no other like, there's like a sample on here, I think, of just some like ambient shit, but like other than that, like the classical guitar thing feels very random in a way, but I do enjoy it because it just gives you a nice little breather at the end of one of the most fucking extreme death metal albums ever made. But yeah, this album is definitely something I need to be in the mood for because of how, like, I hate to say non-musical because I sound like a fucking dick, but because of how, like, absurd this album is, I really do need to be in the mood for it. I mean, that's coming from somebody who listens to fucking brutal death metal almost 24/7. This is definitely not what you need to be in the mood for it because of how fucking chaotic it is. But when I listen to this, it always fucking hits. This is an album that you have to listen to, like, loud, well, and it's a background album too. You can't just sit down and listen to this because unless you're like a fucking psychopath, which you kind of have to be a little bit of a psychopath to enjoy this album, man. But I don't know, it's kind of a background album. I'll throw this on while I'm like playing video games or something, because there's a lot of parts of the sound where it's just like almost straight noise for a while. But yeah, I do enjoy it quite a bit. It's just a nice wall of sound. And if you like just crazy extreme shit, like super violent sounding shit, I don't know, I'm using a lot of, you'll like this, I'm using a lot of words that like, I don't know, like boring publications would use to describe any extreme metal album, but I can't think of better words to describe this album because it's totally brutality for brutality's sake, but I kind of love that about it. I don't know, this album just doesn't give a fuck, really. And that's shown in the performance. I can't tell if this band, like, were like creative geniuses and they're like, alright, our songs are gonna be like intentionally sloppy as fuck and it's gonna add to this chaotic, over the edge sort of feel. I can't tell if it was like that or if they were just like lazy as fuck and it ended up just sounding kind of cool, which that might have been the case. I don't know, man. I don't want to be insulting, but it is a very sloppy album. But overall, I think I'd have to give this one a solid like 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8. It's not perfect, obviously, and it's the definition of a niche album, but it is a very rewarding listen once you get accustomed to it, and once you're able to even make out some of the riffs and stuff. But yeah, very, very challenging album, and just really weird sounding album. I mean, meme culture has kind of taken a liking to this album as far as like metal memes go lately, in a similar way to Orchidectomy, just with how fucking crazy extreme this album is. But yeah, 7.5, 8 out of 10. Check it out, listen to it multiple times. It's a grower, and if it doesn't sit well with you at first, I don't blame you. This album left a bad taste in my mouth the first handful of times I heard this for a couple of years, and then it eventually just kind of grew on me. But yeah, weird fucking album, but I like it a lot. ENMITY, Illuminations, and Vile Engorgement. So that's it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.